Let's start. So today is April 12th, 2022. I think today is my grandfather's birthday, actually. He's been gone a very long time. He's been transitioning a very long time. But as Gina said, today is the zenith of the Jupiter-Neptune alignment. It's a great day for creation. We were just chatting about, and I'll let Cynthia speak about it more, like the project Looking Glass and some of the predictions that have been put into the consciousness. Now, we know that a lot of those predictions and prophecies, like I think I shared on both Cosmic Playground and the I Am Collective page, is that there is something called Share the Prophecy. I'm not sure who created it, but I had several people share it with me, and I finally listened to it a couple days ago, and it's a lot of what we've been talking about in this group. It's someone who's been she is a medium, healer, energy worker, light worker, whatever you want to call it, for over 20 years, maybe even 30. And so, it's 11:11. Eric just said 11:11. Bing, 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 bing. We surrender. We surrender to the highest good. We surrender to our highest good. We surrender and allow the God, Goddess to speak through us. We ask that all that is not love fall away, and only that which is for our highest good and highest evolution be made manifest. We ask only for the highest good to be made manifest for us and all concerned. Please put that which for our highest good and our highest evolution directly in our path. Thank you, universe. We surrender. We ask that all unfolds with ease, grace, and delight for the highest good of all involved. Thank you, universe. All right.
Thank you.
So my computer apparently is doing some updates right now. I do not consent. What part of I do not consent did you not hear? So then Jennifer shared on the last call something about, and I'll let you say more about that, Jennifer, as well, about today specifically, that there was predicted some kind of eruption or explosion, but I think the word eruption was really what came through in Northern California and like the Pacific Northwest. And so we know that we can alter that kind of stuff. So
basically I got that mainly too because the last time Jupiter was in this type of same transition, Mount St. Helens erupted. And I was up in Washington State during that time, and I thought it was the end of the world because when I looked out the window, it was like raining ash, and I couldn't figure out what was going on because I was like, I don't know, I was like 10 years old or something. And it just stuck with me, like an eruption could happen because it's happened before. And if you look back through history during transits with Jupiter and Neptune in them, or, conjuncted and stuff, there's always a lot of crazy type of natural and man-made type of eruptions. There's a lot in the planets about nuclear eruptions, solar flares, things like that. So it could be something natural or it could be something man-made, and it doesn't mean it'll happen at all.
right.
It just is that something to be aware of, that during these times, sometimes a lot of combustion and expansion can happen,
Yeah. Yes.
Well, and what I like to do is whenever I hear multiple people repeating a prediction, I always go into reverse it, because in my way of thinking, honestly, the last thing you want are energy workers and light workers and people who work with consciousness helping to co-create that. right? So it's all about restoring. I always go in to restore the original intelligent design for the benefit of the highest good of all. And if it's something geologic, because I'm a little bit of a geology nerd. Had I made a career choice differently in my 30s, I would have been a geologist. That's my fantasy career. But yeah, so this project Looking Glass, and there were like 5 different psychic people that I follow that brought this one prediction up, was that on the 18th in New York, there would be something happen that would remind you of a mushroom cloud, like the worst possible prediction. So I specifically want to work on that day and that event. And it sounds like we should probably maybe ease any of the tension in the Cascadia. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, it wouldn't hurt, you know.
Yeah. And then something that Eric and I were listening to the other day said something about the time frame of the 13th through the 19th. And then that channeled message that I was witness to in Utah said, and I keep bringing this up, that when the constellation is in Taurus. So that's April 21st or 22nd to like mid-May. I don't totally know those dates. Jennifer would probably know that better, but so it just feels like that right now is just like we keep creating, we keep charging, we keep infusing, we keep backfilling with love, we keep clearing.
And that's what you want to do. I mean, during
Yeah.
these tough transits and stuff, you want to keep pushing ahead with your dreams, with what's best for you, especially now because it is a time for creation. And you want to just push away and let go of and surrender to what isn't working. You know, let it all go, let it fall off. If it's going to come back, it'll come back. But the things that are meant for you to be involved with now will stick and they will show themselves to you. And it's a time to create and manifest and develop and no, it's like we've already done the hard work. It's now time to live in our knowledge, in our power. So it's not time to like go and study more. It's a time to just take all the knowledge we have and move forward with it in whatever ways best works for each one of us or as the collective as a whole. And you can't get stuck up on, oh my God, there's going to be an earthquake or there's going to be an eruption or there's going to be a solar flare. That stuff is faded into kind of the world anyway, I believe. And the best way to deal with that stuff is to just keep doing what you need to do to make your life the best you can and keep your vibrations high. And there's those around you. And when the negative stuff hits, have a game plan, you know, go just think about things like, well, if this does happen, how can I avoid it? Or how can I change this to be able to get around it? Or, you know, just be open and like water, be very fluid in these times because you might have to be.
Yes.
Like, that's always the best advice is don't get stuck and be living in fear. Just figure out a plan and be very fluid so that you can move around whatever cracks or whatever things or objects are in your way. You got to be like the river right now, like water, you know?
Yes. There was so much in what you just said, Jennifer. Let's just breathe that in, guys.
Okay.
Because that so much of that really landed. And I'm reminded, so there's been a lot going on with my mom right now, and it's part of why I shared that Share the Prophecy recording, is because she says, like, this stuff that I came up with is not from news or outer influence. This is like my intuition. And I said to my mom, the only news source I trust is Source. And the way that Eric phrased it is Source is my source. Right? And so I just got goosebumps saying that. Like,
It's a t-shirt. Source is my source.
is source is my source, and I don't consent to this fuckery.
You know, I have to say, I 100% agree with this sentiment, and I think it's catching. I really do. With all the amount of misinformation that's flying around, you know, the word discernment, everybody's using discernment. And honestly, our own felt intuition is the only thing we can trust.
Yes.
True.
Yeah.
Because even if you're in discernment, you're still stuck in your own discernment, and that doesn't necessarily match other people's paths, you know, and discernment. So it's like everyone just needs to adapt and adjust to this new world.
Well, and oh, sorry, go ahead.
That's okay. I was done.
So what I started to say as well with that is that like, this is part of what I share with clients all the time. This has been a consistent message that comes through, is that, you know, the illusion is that we're alone in this, or that we have to do it on our own. And when you're partnered with source, when you're connected with source within, which is, we are the expression of that in the physical body, right? So like, when we're connected to pure source, that there's nothing that we can't deal with, or that we can't like navigate, because we're being guided, you know? And so when you were talking about like making adjustments and flowing with the river and all of that, and like being prepared, it's like, it's not even that. Like, when I got asked to DJ the day before, like a main stage set, and then was getting ready to go, and got the call that my set was at 3 and not 4, like I was told. I was like, woo, okay, source, take the wheel, right? Like, then it's not me. Then it's not like, there's no resistance. There's no, and I really feel like that's how we're going to navigate all of this, like, energy fluctuation and all of that that's coming. Is like, we've been preparing for this for lifetimes, really. Like, I get really moved saying that. Like, this is not new news.
Well, and this is also, I think, like the challenge for people that aren't connected to source. Like, they really need to find that connection within themselves. And, you know, and I guess there's a lot of people that aren't connected to source. In my reality, I'm thinking, like, I think there's less people than I'd like to be.
Yeah.
Source. And I think for those people that don't even understand they could have a connection with source, maybe we should put something out there for them, you know, a beacon.
Oh, yeah. That's a really good idea. And and then I'm like conscious of the time, so I really want to make sure we have some time to work today. So like in a couple of minutes, we'll segue into actually, you know, doing some energy work. But it goes back to what we've been talking about in a couple of calls prior to this, is like, how do we be supportive to the people who aren't connected to source right now, but want to be connected to source, or like that maybe got coerced or duped or whatever into taking the vaccine when they didn't want to, or like that they're like, that are going to be shocked that when the truth comes out.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is that I was thinking about this. I was thinking about creating some kind of post of like, if this comes to pass and you're someone who is like shocked or surprised, or you're, I don't quite know how to word it, but like, I'm here for you. Like putting this out to my community, like, I'm here for you. If this is if this is alarming news to you, or you don't know how to navigate it, or you're feeling all these strong emotions about it, I can help you,
Yeah.
And I think that might be one way to put it out there to people. And then I think these recordings are also a big part of it. Like, I don't know how widely we share them outside of ourselves, but I did a predictive call collective reading with Ashley Bradley, who some of you may know. And she's in Southern California as well. If you don't know her, you should. She's amazing. She's got a group, the Practical Mystic, which is for our tribe. And then she's also got the Business Universe. So she is a spiritual entrepreneur, business coach. And then they've got a podcast, Spiritual Misfits and Rebels. And anyway, so that's a little plug for Ashley. She's amazing. And I met her through Sandy, actually, and through the whole holistic chamber. And she shared that pretty far and wide. She recorded it. She said, "Can we share this? Are you okay if I share this?" I said, "Yeah." And I always feel like whoever needs to see it will see it,
One of the ways to expand your reach is to go back through your description box and use terms that are highly searched. Like light worker is a highly searched term. So I can take a look at the description and write up something to you and send it to you if you wish.
I would love that.
Yeah, I've done a lot of search engine optimization in my day.
Awesome. So anything else anybody has to say, wants to contribute? You're just looking so like, Gina, with your top and the backdrop, you're looking so like, I don't know, like I feel like the name Athena keeps coming up for me. Like, you're serious Greek goddess right now or something. I don't know. It's awesome.
Thank you so much for saying that. I have a really big video interview coming up for Radiance after this.
Oh, awesome.
So I was like, what am I gonna wear? Is it gonna be right? I don't want to overdress, I don't want to underdress. So
no, it's perfect.
And it's so funny you say Athena. I was just talking with somebody the other day, yesterday, about Medusa. And he was repeating the old story about Medusa being, this horrible thing. I'm like, no. She got the rap. And the thought came up, well, like, yeah, and Athena, she was like a sort of a villain in that story, but also not really. She got a bum rap. Fuck Poseidon, not Athena.
Yeah.
So I was sending love to Athena yesterday. So it's perfect that you say that today. Thank you. I feel so much better about what I put together.
You can't make this stuff up. Really, you can't.
Right.
Well, I have to say, I was sent on 3 different missions to specifically address the divine feminine. And something interesting that I found out that I didn't realize before, the grid doesn't only carry the coded information, vibration, sound, light, sacred geometry that's required to produce something in the material. It also creates verities or qualities of the divine. I didn't even realize that. So I literally 3 times was sent back to specific places in time to go into the grid and to fix alterations of what was done with the divine feminine. So anyway, I thought to share that.
Wow. Wow. I love this group. I'm so glad that we gather. Thank you for showing up. Anything for you, Christina, before we start working? Anything you want to say? I know it's early morning. Let's give some props to Christina. It's 8 a.m.
No,
8:30.
I know. I'm listening and I'm with you guys. So
okay, awesome.
No, you guys say everything right. It resonates with me.
Awesome.
Oh, huh.
Aloha.
Eric says aloha.
Aloha.
May all
Aw.
receive the epiphanies they require.
Aloha.
That's from Eric. So also for some reason this is coming up right now, but like I'm reminded of the honeycomb, and I don't know why, but it's so maybe that's something for us to work with today, like the honeycomb pattern, but also the bees. Like I got a message earlier on in the week to take a spoonful of manuka honey every day, and you're taking on the frequency and vibration of those bees in New Zealand on the other side of the world, and like, you know, all of that. So so the bees want to help, I guess, is what what I'm getting, is that they want to help. So I feel like either Cynthia or Gina or Jennifer might want to lead us into this. Are any of you being called to do that?
Well, my mind just went blank, so I need to be reminded of what we're doing at the moment.
So we're gonna raise our energy collectively, and then we're wanting to at some point Cynthia will step in if she doesn't lead us in to what you were talking about the Project Looking Glass and those predictions and us, because here's the thing, like I've done this with Shannon and Sandy before, and I feel like it was with this group, but maybe not in this way, where like the earthquakes and stuff like that, like Mama Gaia needs to release, right? But we can support with like, do what you need to do and have it be the least amount of carnage, or the like, you know, the like those that it's their choice and their destiny to be affected by that. But like,
well, we could say, you know, for Gaia, she can release a little at a time instead of having it all, you know, pent up and released in huge big ways. In other words, let her release, and it would be really honoring the perfect and right timeline that allows her to ascend with ease. Yes. Right? With grace, with ease, have it be gradual, in a way that both protects her and the timeline and humanity.
What you just said. Totally. Exactly that. Shannon's usually really good at wording this as well. So let's
I can take us through like into a state of like theta, but I don't know if I can take us farther than that. You know, like
we can round robin it. Why don't we round robin?
I think that's good.
So the three things that we wanted to accomplish were, number one, getting the spark of the divine lit to allow for connection to source for those who currently aren't connected. Number two, to protect the timeline that allows for ascension with the least amount of destruction, whatever that would be. And then number three, specifically, that Gaia is able to release anything she needs to release
11:33
in a gradual way, right? Are those our three things?
Sound right to me.
I totally got distracted. I'm so sorry. I'm going to trust that that's accurate.
Okay, well, let's go. Let's go. Let's all focus on our breathing. Let's breathe deeply into our hearts. Breathe in that good prana, moving through our body.
Breathe in that good ass prana.
Breathe it in, and with every out breath, any anxiety, any doubt, Any 3D emotions that hold you back are released and replaced with the light. You feel the light of source expanding your aura, opening up your heart. That heart opens and it spins. And as it does so, a golden light moves from your heart through your body down, anchoring into Mother Earth. Yes, our beautiful Gaia. She represents our divine feminine. So we are anchored in the earth, breathe in deeply. And as you do, that gold light that you have sent to her is returned from her to you, from her heart to your heart. Breathe in and release. Hold that light around you, hold the space, and feel your heart open up even more, even more, even more. And as you do, the light comes in, expanding your aura, deepening your connection, and from your heart, a gold light moves up through the top of your head. You are now connected with Source. The golden light of Source returns to you, firmly anchored in the divine feminine, firmly anchored into Source itself, firmly anchored into the masculine energy. We are now connected. And in this connection, we ask that all of our guides come forward, those who protect us, those who teach us. We ask for all ascended masters with whom we have worked to present themselves to augment our power. Specifically, I call on Kuan Yin and all of her dragons to bring in the light of compassion, the ability to transmute all of the elements. We call in all of the archangels and angels with whom we work, and any other being of Christ consciousness dedicated to light work, dedicated to ascension, who is currently working anywhere in the universe in any dimension, to join us now as well to augment our power. And now I'm going to turn it over.
So beautiful. So I'm going to use the phrase spirit team of highest light and resonance. Anyone that any being, high vibrational being on any dimension or reality that is called to join with us here now in this creation and this transmutation of energy. Come be with us now. I call upon the elementals and the four directions and the tree people. The trees are so wanting to collaborate at this time in this shifting of earth. And specifically the trees that have been here for hundreds and hundreds of years, our ancestors, our tree relations, our plant relations. Come be with us now. As I was guided, we're gonna call upon the animals, our animal kinship, our animal relations, specifically the bees that showed themselves to me. I'm also seeing birds for some reason. So like our animal kinship that flies and takes nectar and transports it and deposits in other places. So the bees and the birds are wanting to join with us now, and whatever we create, they're going to take the nectar of it and transport it and deposit it in other places as needed. So thank you for that. Thank you for that partnership. And then we're calling in all of the tools that we've used so far, but ultimately knowing that the tools are us. We are the oracle. We are the transmitter. We are the creator, creating through us. So we're accessing the golden river, we're accessing the infinity symbol, we're accessing the honeycomb, we're accessing the heart center, we are accessing all of these tools and all of the light workers, healers, energy workers, high vibrational beings that are on the planet at this time, that are like we are, traveling between the 3D and 5D and other dimensions, that are doing this work. It's not work, but that are doing this. What's the word, guys? So are doing
Service.
this service. Beautiful. Yes, thank you. Are doing this service. Are fulfilling this purpose at this time. You are also invited to come be with us now. Let's join our energies and amplify and expand exponentially this energy out into wherever it needs to go. And I'm handing it off.
I'm also getting a message that we need to include the native indigenous energies of the world. All the tribes, all the natives, and also the children. I'm getting the unborn children, the unwanted children, every child out there whose soul is out there needs to be included in this.
So I'm being guided to correct, just really quick, that there is no such thing as unwanted child, right? Like we choose our experience when we choose to incarnate, and for some reason that spirit has chosen to incarnate and have that experience. There are even spirits who choose to be in the womb for the experience of being in the womb, but don't actually want to be born.
Yes.
So we interpret that on this earthly plane as there's something wrong with that. But that's part of this shift, is like we're all here to have our experience that we've chosen to have before we even came into the physical form. So
Then may we say it this way, that we honor and ask step forward the oldest souls who have incarnated on Terra, and the most innocent souls who are with us now.
oof.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. So continue. I apologize for interjecting there. Somebody else was speaking, so.
Just felt we need to add the, indigenous energies and the children to the group. And of course, I always invite in Jesus and Mother Mary and my inner child and my ancestors always.
When we began this, my inner child came and crawled into my lap. So I'm holding her. There's definitely some inner child energy that's needed here. I'm also been guided to the Mycelium Network. It's asking to be recognized and utilized for this purpose. It is the forgotten, unknown network that connects all environments across the surface of the planet, and it can and does transmit messages, physical and spiritual, and it's asking to be included.
Yes. That must be what I was sensing when I was talking about the trees, and particularly the older trees. Thank you. Anything else anybody's getting before we start to actually?
We called in the Fae, but they're here strong.
Yes.
Just to affirm.
And just so that you know, I have Running Bull, who is a Native American chief, who is present. He's part of my 9th dimensional oversoul, representing the Native American tribes present here and now.
Thank you, Sitting Bull.
Thank you. I feel like Sitting Bull came in as well when we invited in the 4 directions.
Mm.
I specifically invite the directions individually, but that's often part of it, right? Is like we're opening in all directions. The dog is getting something too. So I've got my the 79.875 hertz tuning fork, which I believe is Schumann's resonance. I'm not positive, but so I was guided to pick that up. So I'm going to introduce that vibration as well. So this is grounding, earthing, regeneration, rebirth, decay. It's kind of all of it, the whole cycle of planting something in soil, growing, dying, growing newly.
I was guided to meditate with the live Schumann resonance feed right before this call. So
Of course.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna, for the collective, I'm gonna introduce this to my physical system. And I'm taking on this vibration as proxy for the collective, including Gaia herself. Christina, I see that you're off mute. Is there anything you want to add to this time?
No, I'm good.
Okay, thank you. Eric, is there anything you want to add to this time?
Making grounding shoes.
Okay. So Cynthia, I'm getting that this would be a good time to speak again now that we're in this state, what you were saying about
Okay.
the shifting of Gaia.
I've got Kuan Yin coming through very, very strongly with her dragons.
Mm.
We have a red dragon, a gold dragon, a green dragon, and a white dragon. All of them, as they outbreathe transmutation for all of the elements, speaking directly to the heart of Gaia. These are ancient energies that have been around since before the birth of Gaia. And so they offer their honor and their respect to her. And along with this, all of our teams, let us send love purely. Let us be conduits, mediums for that 432 hertz love that comes directly from source. This is a healing light that goes directly to Mother and offers her in ease, a grace. We celebrate her ascension as she vibrates higher and higher, and support her through anchoring as well into ease and grace from her heart, moving through all crystalline structures on the planet. All of those elementals, Archangel Uriel, who is connected to her as well. We see ease and grace moving through all of her waters, blessed by the Syrians. Yes? And embodied with the souls, beautiful, beautiful animals, mammals. We wish them ease and grace as well into the transition, into the very air surrounding our planet, ease and grace, beauty and joy. Ascend beautifully, Mother. Ascend with love. Ascend easily. We go with you and we support you.
Yes.
This is your ease and grace from our heart to yours.
Mm.
I pass it along.
I've dropped into the Mother Gaia crystal, and I invite you, if you feel called, to go to the core of the planet, where I see a massive clear quartz crystal. And among the massive spires, the giant spires as tall as skyscrapers and larger, there's a sweet little soft spot where you can land and lay, arms and legs wide, cheek against the surface. So warm and vibrant and inviting. If you feel cold, you can allow yourself to sink into the crystal as it becomes a fluid liquid, sinking in, becoming womb-like, floating in the vibrancy of the white light, crystalline energy, completely surrounded, supported. And from this space, Mother Gaia can pour her love into every cell of your being, every fiber, opening, expanding your DNA, activating crystalline DNA. And from this space, you can pour love into Mama Gaia, feeding and activating her with love frequency. I also ask this vibration to go into the deep trenches at the bottom of the oceans, inviting ease and grace into all places where the tectonic plates meet, inviting them to move and shift as they were meant to, with ease, peace, grace, moving slowly and gently, so that they can move according to Mama Gaia's highest good, without the need for pressure, discord, with ease, simple, peaceful movement of an evolving celestial being.
Let's breathe that in.
And I pass the baton.
I'd like to take us back through our heart chakra, down through our solar plexus, down through our hips, our knees, our ankles, the soles of our feet, connecting back to the source of Mother Gaia, bringing back all the crystals, the energy, as we come back up through the crust of the earth, back through the soles of our feet, through our ankles, through our knees, through our hips, up through our solar plexus, our roots, our chakras, twisting and turning, cleansing and clearing each chakra as we enter up through our root, going up through our solar plexus, through our hearts, our throats, our third eyes, our crowns, back up through the heavens, through the light and the dark, the light, the light and the dark. We run through a jelly-like substance up to a pink floaty cloud. I want you to sit on that cloud and just float up until you get to a window. When you get to that window, I want you to climb through it easily and effortlessly till you see the white light, the white golden light that's beaming through that window. I want you to connect with that light and surround yourself in that light, its warmth, its love. I want you to connect with the source as you look through that light. I want you to see a big chair sitting in front of you. I want you to climb up onto that chair and sit in the lap of what I like to call God. Let him wrap his arms around you. Feel his grace, feel his unconditional love, feel his heart transmuting through yours. Warmth, his kindness transmuting through you. And I would like us all to connect in our mind's eye with all the collective, with everyone in this world, every animal, every tree, every person, every creature. I'd like you to connect through your mind's eye with everything until you feel the space is just one of infinite presence. There's no walls, there's no boundaries. You're just in this place of infinite unlimitlessness. I want you to see the people that you're connecting to, the strangers you're smiling at. I want you to feel God's love moving through you, through your heart, your mind's eye. I want you to connect with each and every person that's around you every day, all over the world. There's no boundaries. You can connect with anybody and anything you want. And I'd like to ask for God's unlimited love and presence source to move through each and every one of us, the collective, the earth, the oceans, the trees, the mountains, everything. I would like his love to move through all of us till it reaches our hearts. And when it reaches our hearts, it lights up in every single one of us. And I want us all to visualize looking down from the grid at the earth and seeing everyone's heart lit up, connected to source, connected to Gaia, connected to each other in infinite love and limitlessness. Breathe that energy in. Release it out into the world. And so it is.
So it is.
So it is.
So mote it be. Amen. Ashe. Aho. Hotep.
Blessed be.
Satnam. Haush haush.
Get down with your bad self.
Get down with your bad self.
The
And
Ho'oponopono is good right now.
Yes.
And then lastly, in our group consciousness here, supported by all of our teams and by Mother herself, we recognize that we are co-creators in consciousness and ask that the hearts of all humans be inspired right here, right now, inspired to connect with the divine. And in doing so, recognize their sovereignty, their deservingness of a prosperous, abundant timeline where they ascend with Gaia in a beautiful way. There is no need to focus on any negative timeline, and we ask that any such thoughts be erased. And with the free will of all of humanity, knowing that there is a higher good and that we are headed towards that future now. And so we give great thanks for all of the support that we receive from all of our interdimensional family, from every aspect and representation of source into sentient being that there is across the universe. Because we know that there are groups like us everywhere. The entire universe is working on ascension and bringing in light and unity conscious right here and right now. And so we give gratitude to our brothers and sisters everywhere.
Yes.
And I say amen to that.
Amen. I say yes.
Amen.
That was lovely.
I I just love what was created, and I'm getting a visual, which I want to share to kind of cap it off, is that spirit shows itself to us through nature. And so what was so just beautifully, beautifully created, we had started at the beginning of the call with those that are perhaps in their current experience not as connected to source. So we offer access now, those that so, you know, paddleboard on the lake and stick their feet in the river and feel the breeze on their face and feel the sunshine on their face and see the bird that shows up in their window or in their birdhouse, that sees the butterfly go by, like all of it, that sits under the shade of the tree to read, or sees a plant that is like just sprouting through the earth. Any of that awareness is that connection to source, and they will experience it as such, and that they are one with whatever it is that they're witnessing. And that is the opening, the blossoming of the bud of connection to source, that will only expand and get bigger and bigger as is designed for their perfect timeline. And as Cynthia said, they will awaken to their sovereignty, but they will also awaken to their divinity.
Yes.
So beautiful. And so it is.
Oh, it is.
So it is.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, all involved in this creation and this blessing today. Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to say, Jules, that painting behind you is very nice. It's got so much energy going on in it in positive, nice way.
Yes. I think I'm gonna take a picture of it and then maybe flip it on its side so that
It's nice to look at.
Mhm.
Ooh, it's even better when you see the whole thing.
Yeah, this is above the dining room table.
It's an amazing picture. I love the colors. It's got a great vibe to it.
Yeah.
Well, that was lovely. I don't know about you guys, but my whole body is vibrating. Like
Yeah.
I've got a lot of energy running through.
Yes.
Yes.
Really, really nice. Nice work. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'm complete.
So we are for sure keeping the Tuesday calls. I put it out there about the Thursday calls. I don't really know how things are going to be shifting. We might try another night of the week.
Mm-hmm. Like
People,
days work great for me. If anyone else can do like 11 on a different day too, like the mornings are actually really better than the evenings for me.
yeah, I mean, I think for a lot of people, but it maybe doesn't have to be 6:30. Like it could be 3:33 or 4, you know, like
Yeah.
it could be 4 or 5 even, you know, like before that. We created it at 6:30 for a couple of people that haven't been participating in the calls for a while. So it's open to creation, you know, and at least once a week we'll gather, and and maybe, you know, I haven't conferred with Shannon about it as far as like, do we still, is the message still to meet twice a week or not, you know?
Well, or you could do maybe even a 9 a.m. on Saturday or something, because most people are off on Saturday and I don't know, usually awake by 9, as just a secondary call of, I don't know. I like the idea of doing twice a week right now because I feel
There's so
it
much
was so interesting. I felt January and February were super intense. Like I was being called on mission after mission after mission.
Yeah.
And then March settled down a little bit and it's picked back up again.
Yes. That was
So
also my experience.
isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, there was still stuff happening in March, but it wasn't like it was,
Hmm.
we got a little break before now. So that being said, it is 12:05. I want to honor everybody's time. Thank you for joining today. It's always a pleasure to be with you. I love what got created today, and I love that we all, like, I love the round robin aspect of it, and we all contributed to it. Even Christina, who was just like solidly offering her energy and holding space during the whole call, like that's so necessary. So thank you, Christina, for showing up today.
You're welcome.
And to be continued. And, you know, please use the page, please use the Cosmic Playground, please use the Collective Creation page to share in between these calls. If something comes up, you listen to something, you get a message, please share it with the group.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sandy's here to drop something off for me. So I gotta run. She's downstairs right now.
Okay, tell her to join us again.
Yes.
Tell her I miss her. Give her a hug for me too, please.
I will.
All right,
Bye, y'all.
awesome. Bye, love.
I'll add some astrology too to the page once I do it today.
That's perfect. Awesome.
Cool. All right.
Go forth and multiply.
Yeah. That's
All right. Thank you.
As they say.
on the shirt too.
What was the source is my source and I don't consent to this fuckery. I have a friend who makes t-shirts and I'm gonna have him
Do it.
make some more Cosmic Playground shirts. So I think I'll ask him about that as well.
Nice.
All right. Love you
All
all.
right. Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.